All right, yogis, we're actually going to start right in downward dog today. So just a couple breaths here, a little bit more of like an active start. So just a couple breaths here in down dog. Just maybe feeling the body out, maybe shifting forward and back to plank. Start to breathe. Turn your self-awareness on. Turn your presence on. Start to feel your body. Study it. Have more intention with your movements. All right leg's gonna rise. Take a nice inhale. And a little bit different start, doing it out of order, right? Right shin will go forward. A quick variation of our pigeon. The right shin is forward, the left leg crawls back. Maybe for a few moments, just keep the chest lifted. You could put your hands on blocks. I'm using my hands, my core, my back leg to kind of lift here. Okay, if you want to take it down, just to kind of ground down, yogis, right? Think of it almost like a child pose. A little extra, if you'd like, could be to reach your right hand out to the right, my left forearm down in front of me, and a little light twist, kind of looking up over the right shoulder. I could a little bit more, tuck my back toes and lift my back knee. So I am active here, yogis, right? Okay, big inhale, please. Hands down, a nice three-legged down dog or tabletop. Maybe you circle your hip. I like to pulse the leg up a little bit, turn the glute on. I'm pulling my belly in and squeezing the pelvic floor, all right? Downward dog. Maybe a few times shifting forward to plank and back. Think of it almost like a big cat-cow. As I'm forward here, you can see my rounded cow spine, or cat, excuse me. And as I go back, more of that arching cow. Cat, cow, right? I'll move forward, a three-legged dog with the left leg lifted. Take a moment here. Pigeon, left shin forward. Right foot and hands kind of crawl back, maybe using your blocks for a little extra lift and lengthening. Now again, yogis, you cannot see it. Pelvic floor. I really want you to bring awareness there. This bandha, kegel, perineum, engaging upward. My belly is also pulling in. Those two deep connections, those two deep muscular contractions are connecting, okay? If you'd like, maybe you take it down a little bit, grounding, a little more stretchy. Again, I could treat this like a plank. I'm on my forearms, my back toes are tucking. It's like forearm plank, but my left shin is forward, pushing down. I'm moving my neck a little because I'm just feeling out the body. For a little extra, I could turn my right forearm in. I could reach my left arm off my mat to the left. Maybe lift and turn a little bit. A gentle twist here. A deep breath for 3. Please take your time here, yogis, right? Eventually, lifting up slowly, three-legged dog or tabletop. Again, I like to lift the leg, activating the glute. Some days I need more circling in the ankle or hip, or opening the hip for a front hip stretch. Moving forward, we'll meet in down dog and shift forward to plank, maybe now adding either on the knees or in full plank. A push-up or 10. You can always add the full flow from dog to plank. If you're ready for your chaturangas, yogis, I'm pulling my belly in my cobra. I'm squeezing my pelvic floor. Okay, a couple more times. Adding extra push-ups. Maybe gentle cobra serves you better today. Less range of motion, more active. Yogis, right now, I'm really working my pelvic floor as I contract my lower back. My belly is in. The breath is working, okay? Last moments here, please. I'm a big believer, yogis, that strength, right? We tend to lean towards stretching, like pushing a lot of range of motion in yoga. Time and time again, you see that people strengthen and reduce a lot of their pain, heal a lot of their injuries. Physical therapy tends to be very strengthening, right? It's some stretching. All right, listen, guys, meet me down on the knees. Twisting. Right hand behind the right ear, or inhale, right arm to the sky. Exhale, either right elbow to left forearm or right arm underneath. We're not going to hold it just yet. That'll be next. Inhale, right arm up and open. Notice I'm pulling my belly in, squeezing my pelvic floor. Exhale it under. Close your eyes, feel your body. A moving meditation. Mind to body. Mind connecting to breath. Exhale. Inhale. Notice I am repeating the side. It is dynamic. Yogis, no tensing too much the shoulder near the ear. This is likely to tense that trap area, okay? Listen, we will meet with the right arm thread underneath. Some options, crawling your left arm forward, maybe up on the fingertips. I rest my right ear down. Another option could be even throwing the left leg out to the side. A nice little inner thigh stretch. We have a nice half shoulder bind, a lot of playful options here. There are more advanced versions, even hovering a leg. Sometimes we hover the left leg here. Last 2 to 3 breaths. I like to massage the side of my skull here above the ear. It is called the temporalis muscle, a chewing muscle. Okay, please take your time, walking your left hand in, your left leg back. Inhale, press through your left hand, right arm high. And exhale, right hand down. Take a little cat-cow if you need. Throwing those cat-cows in, all right? Second side, a little bit easier is the left hand behind the ear. Maybe more would be left arm straight to the sky. Inhale and exhale, okay? You know, anywhere between 3 and 10 of these. Attempting to close the eyes, activate the body well, breathe well with your movement. And here's the tricky part, trying to engage body parts, pelvic floor, belly, core stabilization, press feet down, grip the feet. You're trying to engage where you don't engage well. That's tricky because that neurological relationship isn't developed. Trying to feel where you don't feel and can't feel, right? Trying to relax where the neurological relationship is too much. You're too tense always there. Trying to find the harmony of release and active, okay? We will meet with the left arm, threading the needle. You gotta adjust the knees, the head, the arm, finding the sweet spot. Right arm can reach forward, right arm can go around the back. Right leg can go out to the side, or right leg can lift up. Play with the pose, have some fun, explore a little bit. This is the gentle inversion, and very different than the child. The child pose would bring blood flow into the eyes and the front part of the brain, the forehead, these sinuses. When we go on the side, it's also a sinus drainer here, but you increase blood flow into that temporal lobe. It's the side of your brain. When we do things like bridge and lay on our back, it's the back. And the forward bend, like the Uttanasana headstand, it's the top of the brain. So each little subtle head below the heart angle is a different part of our inversion practice. All right, we're going to inhale that arm to the sky if you haven't. We're going to meet back in tabletop, please. Take a little cat-cow to neutralize those big rotation and hip movements. Okay, a little different, yogis. We're gonna swing you around to a seated position. All right, so we got to do our reverse tabletop. Okay, remember this isn't supposed to be the most hip thrust challenge. It's just to work our posterior chain more. It is considered a beginner exercise. I'm not going to make you hold it long, but let's go here. All right, you're in a lot of forward bends just now. We're going to do this back bend. This is beginner. If you really need easier, we have bridge pose. Okay, engage your fingers. That's key to protecting the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist. Widen your feet. You're going to take that big inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and exhale, lift your hips. Take a few breaths here. If you'd rather go up and down a few times because you're looking for more movement, that is totally fine and smart. I'm going to ground down. I'm squeezing my pelvic floor as I work my back and my butt, hamstrings. I'm going to let the head fall back here too. Let the front of the neck stretch. Last 2 to 3 breaths. Big inhale. Here we go. Lower down slowly. Right leg goes forward. Right heel comes in and opens. I'm kind of moving slow here, yogis. So use your breathing. Add extra active exercises for more heat. Left foot on inner right thigh. Inhale. My right leg is straight, yogis. Arm's going to reach up. Don't forget, you can bend this knee a lot. It's safer for your lower back. So I keep my chest lifted. I'm starting to hinge, reaching my hands toward my right foot. Little extra here, guys. Left hand toward the outer right foot, lifting the chest, turning. Even more is right arm around the back toward the inner left thigh. I do like to remind you guys that fancy, really flexible range of motion yoga is basically gymnastics. And gymnastics is risky style of exercise. More risky than weightlifting and cardio, right? So just want you to know that, right? Slowly sit up, please. Left leg forward, right leg in. We're just switching sides here before we take our second table. Notice my right knee doesn't go down. What I do here is actively push it down. You see that? I am actually grounding down my legs. I sit up nice and tall, I turn straight forward, and I forward fold. A little extra is right hand across to the outer left foot. I do lift the chest, I work my core stability. I relax my shoulders back and down. Maybe a little half line there for the shoulder. How's your breathing? Remember, when we don't move, yogis, you can breathe deeper, and it creates those same qualities that a blood flow and energy that movement forces, right? Movement will create body temperature, blood flow, just flushing, and breathing can basically do that. Right? It's really the breathing that's doing that via the movement, right? So take your time, slowly. Eventually, sit up, please. Legs forward. Another round of our up table. All right? Fingers forward, please. We just stretched that back body twice. Let's tighten it up a little bit. Strengthen it. Here we go. I know this is tough on those shoulders, but it's a good stretch for the shoulders too. Strengthen in the back. Tuck the tailbone. Squeeze the pelvic floor. A little bit stronger this time. Couple more breaths. Don't be shy to add on, yogis, okay? You feel good. You can do a one-legged. You can do a figure 4 here. When I went to India, my teacher would walk in the room and he'd say, up table, first pose, okay? This is very classic yoga we're doing right now. Big inhale. Nice job. Lower the butt down. All right, here we go. Right shin in front of left. This is a piriform extension. This is active, yogis. If you want to stretch, that's fine, all right? Right shin in front of left. Listen, my shins are parallel to the front edge of my mat. I'm crossing my shins, not my ankles. My feet are flexed, pressing down, okay? I'm sitting up nice and tall. I pull the belly and I squeeze the pelvic floor. With a little support on my blocks or the floor, I hinge a few inches. At that point, I work on pressing my legs down more. Not worried about going too far right now. After a couple of breaths, I come back up. Now close your eyes, mind to body. Feel, activate, stabilize. I'm going forward a few inches and then back up. Forward a few inches, back up. Last few on this side. Yogis, this is normal to be uncomfortable, but what is this strengthening? It is the push off of the walk, right? This strengthens this action. It is rotational, lateral and posterior, right? So it is the piriformis and the glute. So it's this push off, right? That you kind of do all day as you turn around in the house. Really important to strengthen, yogis. Second side, please sit up, shake those legs out. This could feel nice, kind of massaging the glutes, rotating the hips that we were just kind of tightening. You know, even like just shaking your legs out a little bit in between to soothe the body. Left shin in front of right. Flex those feet, please. Shins parallel to the edge of the mat. If you look down, there's a triangle kind of in the thighs and the right calf here. I sit up nice and tall. I go an inch. I press the feet down. I pull the belly in. I squeeze the pelvic floor. Then I come up. Okay? Go forward. I hold. I squeeze the pelvic floor. I pull the belly in, shoulders back and down. I think posture. Top strong legs. And then I come back. Don't forget there's always more. If I add my arms higher, it's a more levered. It's kind of like you're adding weight resistance to the exercise. But it's not better, okay? Couple more on our second side, please. Deep breathing, meditative body awareness, a lot of intention. Remember, piriformis tension is for healing lower back problems. I told this story, a friend of mine, Steve, an older guy, he works at SpaceX. He's always at the Bay Club and sees me working out. We play basketball, we become friends. And he sees me working out and he's asking me about back pain. And I gave him the piriformis tension, one exercise. His chronic back pain, he's like a miracle. He said it's like healed. Now, I don't know how much of that placebo, but it's, it's incredible what this exercise can do, yogis, all right? Let's keep going. I got one more round for you. One more round, please. The up table, third round. I'm just gonna do it basic. If you'd rather do reverse plank, that's the same category. One-legged thrusting for really strong glute exercise. I'll meet you in the middle. Table, let's go. Think of it like these are our plank holds, guys. Okay, but it's back body. We all need to strengthen our back body more. Tuck that tailbone, pull that pelvic floor in. Connect your perineum to your glutes and your pelvic tilt muscles. Then pull the belly and connect that, and then connect the breathing to all that deep body structural engagements. I'm gripping the fingers, I'm pressing the feet down. This is a tough exercise. You will get a nice stretch here to seal it in. Big inhale. Please take your time. Very nice job. Last part here, guys, is the straddle. Any other stretches are welcome. You know, if you'd rather take a seated twist here, just touching your toes straight, your call, right? A side bend. Sit up nice and tall, please. If you like strength and you want to stay active, let's go here today. I'll let you decide. We all have to work on making better decisions, not just exercising. This would be my strengthening variation. I'm engaging my legs, lifting my core. A little bit easier is here. A little bit more stretchy, right? Hand can be down. I'm turning the chest up either way. I'm working Legs kind of active still. If I want a little bit more dynamics, okay, some mornings this is our best choice. Make sure you switch sides, about another 20 seconds in our straddle. If you want to take it down the middle, another good option. We're going to meet seated position, swinging the legs around the tabletop. Let's keep moving, yogis. Class almost halfway over. It flies. Back toward down dog. Optional vinyasa. Optional inversion. Optional rest. Optional second round of push-ups. Remember, yogis, we just did 3 tables. You don't need to do cobra. That's one style of yoga, right? I am not exaggerating. I didn't do any vinyasas my first 5 years of doing yoga regularly, right? We didn't do that. That's a style that's popular in certain areas. So, just wrapping out some push-ups for some really good arm strength. That's really smart to do a couple times a week. Really emphasize the arms challenge. And if you're doing that, maybe you don't do your elbows in today. Maybe it's good to do your elbows a little bit wide, stimulates the muscle a little different. Maybe you're feeling good and you want to do overhead shoulder push-ups. Push-ups can take many forms, yogis. If you watch me here, it almost looks like down dog push-ups, right? Where my heels are lifted. And all that really is, guys, is it's like I'm doing this. Instead of doing this, I'm doing this, where the arms are overhead bending, which is going to really strengthen the shoulder and the upper pec fibers here. Remember that the pec is like a 3-headed muscle. Cobra, those lower pec. And push up the mid, the sternum, and then you got your clavicular head that really works in like down dog and overhead. So just some food for thought. It's really good to do it different, more challenges on the body, because it's so complex and magically organic, and we want to, on good days, just put a twist on how we train it. Don't forget the diamond push-up. It's really good for the tricep. So where my elbows are hugged in and the hands are close together, okay? So a quick arm moment. I see somebody's doing your headstands. That's phenomenal. Last moments here, please. Yogis, you can't go wrong with push-ups and planks. I tend to sometimes bash planks because people get also kind of too attached to them. They're a great exercise as a foundation, but we are working towards a little bit more. You get to a certain level of strength, holding a plank. It takes a really long time to get the yield out of that, right? We want a little more intensity if we're thinking strength training. Plank's a little more warm up, plank's a little bit more, you're coming off an injury, right? Planks are phenomenal there, okay? Let's keep going, guys. Down dog, walk your feet to the front of your mat, an optional forward bend, and you're feeling good. You can stretch out your wrists. Maybe you want to do a little more swaying. Right? Maybe you want to take it to yogi squat. I'm not going to do really much flow today, yogis. You can add a little bit of sun salutations or. Let's go here, guys. Let's meet in standing. We got to do our squatting. You got to squat every day of life, right? You got to get up and down out of the chair. You got to get down on the toilet and back up. And we don't want to lose that ability. We want to keep training these functional movements, the walking, the balance, the squatting. So let's do our squatting. Now, do you need movement? Do you need stillness? I'd say a little bit of both, probably. I'm going to start with my feet about hips width distance. I'm going to first start to go up and down, testing my legs in my squat. I'm going to close my eyes, squeeze the pelvic floor. This is one of the most important spaces that we work on squeezing our pelvic floor, yogis. Okay, I did a few moving, right? I'm going to stay now down in my chair with my eyes closed. My goal is to close my eyes. I am still moving a little, but it's this smaller style where I'm really feeling my legs, my thighs turn on. I'm pulling the belly in. I know I'm saying this a lot today. Squeeze your pelvic floor. This needs to be more of a awareness in our training, okay? Mind to muscles that it's normally not connected to, all right? I want to think about a good minute and a half doing some type of squat / chair work. If you want to do one-legged, beautiful, that's better. I tend to always do one-legged if it's body weight. Teacher says chair, I usually hover a foot, yogis, okay? You want to do a lateral? We did that the other day. You want to do the figure 4 again? We already did it twice. It's squatting time. Don't forget, we do sagittal squatting with 1 foot back. We do rotational squatting with the feet turned out. We do medial, that's another rotational squatting. We do toe squatting, right? We take squat and we walk. A lot of ways to make it fun, but foundational is always good as well. All right? Squatting right into hinging. Remember deadlift, our best posterior chain exercise, right? From our best leg exercise strategy. I'm going to bring those hands behind you. I'm going to roll the shoulders back, but if you want more arms, today's kind of back arm day, right? I like this one. Remember this one that I torture you with sometimes? Instead of gripping, we work active. My fingertips touch is called reverse jiva. I roll the shoulders back. I hover. Right into it, guys. Warrior 3 today. Left leg lifts, we bend the knee. Another pose that's foundational in both yoga and exercise. My belly is in, guys, okay? My left hip is down. We're about to go laterals and rotationals. We're pretty linear right now. The chest is coming down, the neck is lengthening. Feel, close your eyes. If you want more, you could reach your arms even forward. Remember, more levered, so that the arms become more like a weight. Make sure your left foot is active. You're holding that form. Last breath or 2. Please take your time. Slowly stand up. If you need a little release. Remember, twists tend to be really nice to release forward and back exercise. All right? Movement tends to be nice after holding positions. Second side. I'm going reverse jiva because I want that strength. Go ahead. Right leg goes back and up. Chest comes down. Stay focused, yogis. Building the body is not easy. All right? If you need to do a little movement here, you know, you're going in and out of the pose. Tadasana Warrior 3. Maybe you want to do what we did on Tuesday. The knee comes up into the chest. That's okay. You know, there's Gentle Warrior 3 where you just hinge a little bit. I'm going to try to push you, right? But it doesn't mean it's necessarily the best day for that. Last couple of breaths, you got to think of it like a plank. And you're trying to turn your back body on here, yoga. So it's more of a cobra from your back top leg through your core, hips, through your chest, like a micro cobra on top of the leg now, right? You did the cobra here and there, you did the up table. Now we up the ante. It's kind of like the same stuff, right? Just in different forms. Let's keep going. We will meet standing. We will step our feet wide. Good old triangle. We will do both styles of triangle. And yogis, this is when you'll have the option to either do side angle or half moon, right? Whether it's revolve side angle, revolve half moon. This is a moment to kind of have some fun, take it to a big pose, or stay in a more, you know, solid, grounded position. okay? You might want to block near the foot. I'm going to start with the feet, about 3-4 feet distance. Right toes turn open. See that? Right, left toes also setting up for our triangle. Now remember, I like to start into a little bit of movement. I don't just drop immediately into hyper range. I'm starting to engage my legs and press my feet down, taking my time, doing this well. A lot of intention and integrity, guys, in everything we're doing. Adding more of that, right? Not more exercise necessarily, and more reps. So I'm pretty tight today, right? So not forcing into my normal depths. Left arm goes up. Now the arms start to go wide, all right? Turn the chest open, feel the back muscles turning on, but I also take the arch out of my back. So I pull my lower ribs in. I start to gaze up, triangle. Not too much weight in your right hand. I want the feet down, the right hip, the bottom hip is pushing forward. The upper body lean back a little, okay? If I remember, this is our side angle. Half moon option. Last couple breaths in this side. I am now showing the side angle. More the half moon. I'm now showing more of the full moon. There's Chapasana. There's squatting here. There's fun poses and fancy poses. What are you working on? What is your body calling for today? You're listening to the body and making choices. You're having fun on a good day. You're showing more care on a lot of other days, right? Okay, I will eventually kind of land the left foot down. It looks like quite a few of you took your half moon. You shake it out a little bit. I like this stuff here. Again, anything you need. But I'm going to start cueing you right into it, please. Triangle. Notice my feet. I want you to know when I do triangle on the left, my actual feet have to widen forward and back. Growing up doing certain sports where you're, baseball, you're always turning this way to run. You don't run the bases this way. So my hips are designed after 20 years of baseball. I'm really good at going this way, better, right? Because the bases go that way. What's your thing? So my hips have to be placed a little different. I drop my left hip down. I'm doing my triangle entrance, and then I'll settle into my pose. I'm going to give you a good minute and a half, a little bit longer today, guys. Do your triangle work today, all right? And try to close your eyes and learn these cues. A good strategy is to start with your feet. Feet are very active, toes down, but not, a nice equal activity and the toes and the foot that they're pressing down. And the legs are squeezing together. And I like to engage the knee, the muscles above the knee lift. So the quadriceps, right? They're lifting above the knee, these muscles. And then the hip, right? So that bottom hip, the left one here, is coming forward. And so look at, this angle. The people go like that. It's more like this. Stacked body. The side body, left side body lengthens. The belly pulls in. The upper shoulder leans back. Some of us are doing side angle or half moon. It's actually quite similar cues, right? They're all kind of the same style of pose. One is more pelvic tilt and straight leg. One is more neutral tilt and bendy lunge. And one is more of a hinge / balance and abduction, right? So strong stretching, right? Stabilizing your body intelligently in ranges of motion and complex forms. Now I want you to take your time, all right? It looks like some of you are already done. Some of you are still in the pose. We're going to meet in the standing position, please. You're going to pivot, setting up for we already stretched our hamstrings, yogis. I'm not going to do pyramid. We did it, straddle many times, okay? You might want your block inside the left foot. Let's get our triangles done. Now, I'm facing the back of my mat here with my right leg forward, first leg, right hip back. For more, left arm up, right? For a lot, both arms up. Same idea. I might work my hinge. Think of it, warrior 3. Right? So now the legs are not directly under me. Engage the legs, press the feet down, hinge. After a little bit of work in this space, left hand on the block, the shin the floor, I can take my right hand, I'm just switching side, the view, right hip out and back. So I'm reaching my right sit bone back, right? I lift the chest for cobra and I start to turn. Again, I'm very tight today. I'm not really trying to force range of motion. Some days my body can just pancake down, some days it can't. Not gonna force it. Right arm might go up. If you'd like, we do have revolve side angle instead. Lunge twist, right? If you want to take it there, revolve moon, this is your opportunity. Yogis, turn your chest up to the right, pull your belly in, don't arch. Either flex or point that back foot. Lift your left hip and turn your chest up to the right. Big fancy yoga pose, revolve chapasana, the right hand behind like the bow. Okay, last couple breaths on this side. Stay focused. We're gonna do this. We have one or two more poses to do standing and then you're done, all right? Please take your time, land nice and soft. Remember, this is the revolved one. Brian, you look like you're in an open hip again. That's fine, as long as you're doing that intentionally. Okay, we're gonna land slowly. Uh-oh, is anyone still doing it? Take your time. All right, meet in like a neutral, and you're gonna basically just set up your second side. Yeah, Hatha yoga. That's what do they call it? It's the yoga of work, right? So not an easy practice, yogis. All right. So let's keep going here. Second side, set it up. So your left leg is now in front of you, your left hip is back, and you're working that pyramid hinge. Remember, the hinge is basically best posterior chain exercise, yogis. That sentence is very important to remember, right? The hinge is the best back body strengthener through your core, hips, and legs, right? So we do this in a lot of different ways, right? Sun salutation, down dog is one, cobra is a hyper one. So all that hinge, right? Right hand would come down, and I'd start to turn. I could take side angle, I could take moon eventually. Let's do that work in the twisted form of your choice. Maybe you can close your eyes. Start to feel more mind to body. Those eyes are gonna, dominate all your brain's energy and the senses. So we close those eyes, we heighten other senses. We feel more, we can breathe more, connect to our breathing better probably. Remember, you're not having the best day. Doing it with the back knee down, right? Might heal things like hip injuries, where I'm doing a half split, yogis, and I'm turning, right? So you can turn on the outer edge of the foot. We've done that. That's more of like a restorative or recovery day style, a little bit more stretchy, a little bit more softer on the core. And there's always ways to make it easier too, guys, right? This is revolved half moon in modified form. Right? We did this moving earlier, but you lift the leg and you hold it here. So there's ways to do it if today is not your best day, okay? Let's keep going, guys. Nice and slow, please. I will meet you up into like a neutral position, all right? Take a moment here to shake it out a little bit. I'm not going to do the straddle because we did that earlier. Please step to the front of your mat. Almost done, yogis. All right? Now this posture is completely upright. It is a classic yoga pose for all your major joints. It is strengthening, balancing, and stretching. Garudasana, the eagle. Arms reach up, please. Right arm under left. Intertwine your forearms. Press through your palms. Sit low. My right arm went under, so my right knee lifts. The higher I lift the knee, the better I can cross those legs. Right thigh over left. All right, come on now. Part of our balance, part of our squatting. Yogis, You know, legs is our main focus. Core is second, arms are important, but we do enough arms. But they're last for our phasic muscles, right? That's not what's holding us up. That's not what's helping us walk around all day, but we will work those a lot too. But they're kind of last focus. Okay? It is side-to-side practice today in the traditional Hatha yoga form. Inhale, arms knee up, right into it. Left arm, right foot down, left arm under right, Garudasana. Press through your palms. These last poses are very spreading and straight, right? Now everything is bending and kind of hugging in more. Left thigh over right, left arm under right. A really unique yoga position. Okay? Remember, really good for like reproductive organs, right? Like you're squeezing. You know, for like men, testosterone is like the number 1 or 2 chemical for muscle and bone building. You know, like squeezing our areas that create our testosterone, very important. You know, did you know that women have more testosterone in their body than estrogen? You know, women's bodies make testosterone also. It is made in the ovaries. That's not commonly thought. Most people don't associate testosterone in women, but that really can help women also build bone and muscle. And it's made in the ovaries, yogis, right? So it's also made in other places in the women's body, but most people don't know that, right? We're doing some of these things to stimulate deep places in the body for our chemical health, right? Please take your time. Meet me in standing position. It looks like a lot of you are done. I want you to meet me here. Take a moment. Final standing position. I am going to go for it today, yogis. This is a very classic Hatha yoga pose. It is beginner. Our back bends have been a little bit more strengthening, right? Warrior 3. This is a stretching position. I want you to think of it like Warrior 3, right? It is basically the same. The hamstring stretch that have all been prepped. It is very forward and back now. It is the standing bow. If you don't want to do this, guys, you can do bow on your chest. You can do camel. You can also do, a posture like this. It is very similar. I want you to pull that belly in. I'm only going to do 1 round, okay? Right hand opens. Remember, we crossed the right thigh over first, so we'll bring the right thigh back now. My right hand opens, grabbing the inner edge of the right foot. After this, we're back on the ground for 1 more arm stimulating, 1 more core. You're done, yogis, all right? Left arm up. Notice, I don't want my right heel out. I bring it behind me. We're going to enter nice and slow. I want you to think of it like a plank hold. I start to kick and reach forward. My right hip goes down, my belly pulls in. I'm lifting up. As a reminder, dancer is upright more, belly in, belly in. I'm lifting my chest. Bow pose is down more, okay? 1 solid round. Entering slow, being strong as we stretch. Exiting slow, breathing. I can't see any of your elbows. Remember, you don't need to go deep. And if it's a little too much, remember, I guess it was maybe 6 months ago, on a Saturday, I had you do active bow. This is like really strong. Instead, think Warrior 3, belly in. I lift the leg up and I bend, and I also pretend like I'm doing my bow here. So it's called active bow if you want to take the more strengthening approach, okay? It looks like a lot of you are slowly exiting. Please take your time to meditate, neutralize. That is a very challenging form in every way, right? Remember, in some beginner styles of yoga, you'll do bow in the first quarter of class, right? So don't overthink it here. Left hand opens. Now just notice this thing I didn't mention, guys. The crease of my elbow is out. So everyone, look at the elbow. Is the crease of your elbow facing out to the left? Okay? Because a lot of us will do this with the tip of the elbow, the point, the back there faces out. All right? Right arm up, the kick drives the pose, my left hip is down. You're lengthening your core, dropping your left hip down. Lengthening your core, pulling your pelvic floor in. You can bend your standing knee. Final standing position. Nice, Brian. Kick drives the pose. Nice, Dessa. Just be easy. It's a big pose, right? This is kind of like peak pose. I don't really teach peak pose class style, but there always usually is to some extent. The goal is to slow down the mind and feel more in those moments. And breathe and to turn on where you're not good at turning on, to get out of compensations where you try to make it easier to go deeper. That's not really the goal, okay? We will make our way down to the ground. It looks like most of you are done. A slow step to the front of your mat. Think of this as a big palate cleanser, a sun salutation, right? Inhale, we reach the arms up. If you'd rather go chair, that's also phenomenal. A slow bend in the knees and a slow hinge. The whole back body gets some tension and stretch together. Then we inhale, we half lift. You take it back and through your vinyasa, high plank to low plank. Yogis, we are in the last 12 minutes of class. This is it. I was going to do one kind of ab stimulator and one last round of arm stimulating. If you have an inversion, I'd like to see a forearm stand, a handstand at the wall. When in doubt, a dolphin hold, a second round of push-ups, simple plank, maybe a side plank. You really can't go wrong there, guys. Side plank is one of my favorite basic exercises in the calisthenic bodyweight training. If you got a big pose, let's try it now. If you need easy, knee push-ups, right here, guys. Remember, a push-up is me going slightly, can you see my upper body goes forward and down, right? You see how my elbows are over my wrist, and then it goes back and up. Remember, a push-up is a movement not only down and up, but slightly forward as you go down, but slightly back. That makes a push-up a lot less likely to irritate your body, right? And you got to grip those fingers. Remember our hand intelligence? Grip that floor. Nice. Yep. Hold that headstand. Now remember, the elbows in the beginner should hug in, because you can do a little test. If I bring my arm out here, guys, you can feel how much this tenses up, especially if I start to put dynamic weight. It's like very likely, right? Very likely to irritate here. You know, your arm is max in range here, right? And then you're pushing. If you're going to do a chest push-up, you don't even want them that wide. You want to do it here. So if you're trying to build your pecs with push-ups, they're not here. They're not in. They're not max out. They're halfway. Okay. And you got to bring awareness into the pecs, mind to muscle. Last 30, 45 seconds I can give you for your arms / inversion. Okay. Yeah, and you know, some of you are stretching, and that's totally fine. Hug those elbows in, Steven. Yeah, that's better. Remember, we've mentioned that sometimes it's difficult to do headstand. I totally get it. You know, doing things like just kind of massaging your scalp, doing a little pressure point where you just kind of go like this. Look, you know, it's so relaxing. It can really help sinuses. And I was massaging last night, and you know, I was massaging her scalp halfway through, and you know, she was like, "Whoa, I feel a lot of pressure. My ears released," and she felt her sinuses open up. Or, right, they all can, you know, the muscle fascial lines of the head and runs down right into the sinuses here, right, and right down into the ear canal, and a little bit of just like pushing here can really help a lot. Just kind of finding some sore spots, pushing. Massaging your forehead on a block is so phenomenal. All right, yogis. So here in the end, we looks like most of you are done there. If you did want one ab stimulator, right? Even though the whole class is like abs and core, if you did want to continue your journey towards stronger abs, you did them 2 days ago with me. It's good to go 48 hours off, and then you do it again quick, right? 1 minute in an ab stimulator, it's just like a plank, but better to hit the abs. This would be hip flexors. This would be abs more, right? Safer is keeping the head and arms down, just going lever, lower back down, just holding, holding, holding. Maybe a very small movement, super good abs. More athletic is this, you know it. Maybe adding an angle. After this, we will unwind, and I actually will do a nice, a lunge stretch to end because we've done our straddles, hamstrings are done, right? So we're doing pretty good. I'm gonna do a frontline stretch to end. No active back bends in the end today. You'll see that on Saturday. We will get back to our closing stronger back bend. We'll do the walking flow. So a lot of movement coming on Saturday, yogis. I'm gonna try to use that to have you move a lot, all right? We are closing up with the last active thing is the abs. And then what you're gonna do is counter that with our stretch, all right? We will meet in the seated position. You do not need to stretch right now. If you want to continue with strength, I applaud you, okay? Continue with strength when you can. You can strengthen more than an hour some days, right? We will meet in the tabletop. I will do a lunge stretch to end today. This is a really good one, yogis. Not too much lunging today, right? You will see a lot of lunging on Saturday, all right? Right leg will go forward. We have some options. Here, going a little forward. Option, left hand down, rolling on the outer edge of the leg a little bit, right arm back, and a big stretch today. Right hand to left foot. This is our quadricep stretch as well. Heel to butt, chest turning, maybe going a little deeper. Couple more breaths. Anything else is fine. There's many ways to do this stuff. Nice. Nice, Dessa. Nice, Steven. A lot of people going with strength. My class is too easy today, huh? Okay, you know what to do. You got one side that's tighter than the other, and you're basing it off what you're feeling, not my general timing. You're going to switch sides when you're ready, right? You shake it out a little bit. You're kind of maybe in soothing mode after you demanded the stability through the legs and the core a lot today. And you're just releasing a little tension, all right? Please take your second side with the left leg forward, maybe a little Anjanasana, maybe split squats, maybe a little bit of more of a bind. Left hand would go up and back. There is the right hand, the right foot too, but usually that's more upright. Close your eyes, couple breaths. I'm basically going to do this, maybe one last stretch, and that's it today, okay? Sometimes I'll go into my workout unexpectedly. I feel excellent. Some of those days you think you're not feeling good, and sometimes that's when I have my best, strongest exercise days. It's funny when you're not feeling good. It's almost like you're in a fight or flight mode, and that produces adrenaline. And it's funny. The not feeling good creates a certain state in your chemical, energetic mind that you can actually be really strong, right? And sometimes when you're feeling all good and you're relaxed and comfort, you're in like a parasympathetic, you're not as strong. When I feel that, and when I feel whoa, I feel strong and good in these strength and exercises, I will keep pushing that strength, right? And you got to be really open to being present and not having expectations or stuck to a plan, and be willing to adapt and adjust to the moment. So, yogis, we are here in the end. I'm probably going to go 5 minutes past. That's it. Here in the end, guys, we have some options. Maybe, we did a good amount of twisting. I wouldn't say it was a super twisty class, but if you wanted to twist seated or laying on your back or Kundalini style, our lunges today were pigeon and Anjayamasana, both stretchy, right? So you're probably going to see all the strengtheners on Saturday. This is a lunge, that Kundalini twist. I love that one. It's a core, it's a hip, neck, a lot of things happening. Maybe you want to do a block pose too, because you don't get to do it with me on Sundays, and you take your fish, your bridge. If you didn't get your inversion, you want to put your legs up the wall. That's a really nice choice a lot of days, because we didn't do a lot of that three-legged dog today. Okay, you'll see that on Saturday. One more posture of choice: a twist, a legs up, a happy baby or plow. Let's be ready for closing meditation in just a minute or two. And as a reminder, yogis, sometimes we actually don't do shavasana. If you find your mind is pretty, relaxed today, and you're good at shavasana, you're good at relaxing your body, your breath, and your mind in laying. Remember, we always get this question. It's like, what can induce parasympathetic the fastest, right? We know sound can. Our brain pulse tends to link with the sounds of our environment. Faster, louder environments tend to cause stress response. We know comfortable positions induce parasympathetic really quickly. Some other things are positive thoughts can really help parasympathetic response, the relaxation of the mind and body. But you want to almost challenge your ability to go into parasympathetic eventually. So you're good at laying. Some days I'm sitting on a block right now. I would just take a nice seated position for my closing, grounding, and calming. All right. So just some food for thought, just like the conditions determine our approach in your situation. When you sit up, right, and you meditate, I can a lot more energy flow. And when I do the gratitude, I can really feel it through the spine, the tingling throughout the body more. Okay, so you know what to do. Start to make your way there soon. Goal is to neurally regulate, to stress management, to calm, to slow down, to ground and center before you exit your wellness practice today. Closing meditation, please.